Good morning, everybody, and welcome into the St. Johns County Show that's on in the morning. It is 9:04 day, by the way, and I got to tell you, I'm not going to take too much credit for it, but we invented 9:04 day. We invented 9:04. We were the first ones who started saying it. Actually, Rick, our producer, started saying it many years ago.
And he's on our team.
That's right.
That's it.
So we're claiming Rick's accomplishment as a team accomplishment.
Yeah,
that's right.
We didn't say
it together.
but many people have said it.
Many people have said it.
Yeah, many people.
Yeah. Yes.
I'm just glad we did it.
Okay. Yeah, we did it. It was our thing. It's totally our thing.
We, as a group.
So happy 9:04 day.
Very special.
We've got a great show ahead of us on 9:04 day. I got to tell you, we've got our first guest in studio who has their own action figure.
This is like official action figure.
Whoa. This is a big deal. How
Looks
about that?
so good.
This is pretty awesome. Victoria Crawford joining us in studio. You may know her as Vix Crow, and formerly known as Alicia Fox for when she had her time in WWE.
Oh, yeah.
Very awesome. Very, very accomplished.
Extremely accomplished.
And I don't know if you took me up on watching some of her highlight reels. Hell of an athlete.
Yes.
Jeez, man.
The
Very
first
impressive.
African-American wrestler to win Divas. Like,
That's
this
right.
is amazing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Very cool, man. So she has got a new venture where she is helping people break into and kind of navigate the world of professional wrestling.
Oh, nice.
Because as you're starting out in any business, it can be super confusing to try and make your way in the best way possible. So she's obviously got a lot of experience, and she's helping people kind of get their footing in the business, which is really, really cool, man. So we're going to talk to her about that in just a few minutes. We have also got, what else do we have on the agenda
I'm looking
today?
for another job. So I mean,
Okay, yeah, you're definitely in the age range to start professional wrestling.
Do they have a senior division?
Oh, that would be so great. Maybe you could win some dentures.
Out of shape senior division.
Sponsored by Depend. I love it.
You know, Ric Flair's still out there.
Let me know if you need a PR team. I'm ready.
That's a rough life. I take it back. You talked me out of a pee right there.
Okay, you're welcome. You're welcome. It's for your own good.
I'm staying here. Happy 9:04 day.
Yeah. You'll stick to just staying behind a desk instead of getting thrown through one.
Exactly.
All right, good deal. We are also going to talk about a very interesting marketing contract expiration here in St. Johns County.
We
got to
talk about this.
Is, I definitely want to get Troy's opinion on this. He's got, I know he's got a lot to say here.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yes.
And we will talk about the whistleblower of this whole parks thing.
Champion of the people, I'd like to call him.
I got sent that yesterday morning as soon as the show was over, and I was like,
Really?
oh, man, that's some real stuff right there.
Yeah, but there's some updates, some upticks on this, so we'll jump into it.
Cool. We'll talk about that. And we got a very weird Wednesday story for you today. So we will jump into all that as soon as I tell you about our friends at Bozard Ford Lincoln. Very happy to have them as our title sponsor. Since 1949, Bozard Ford Lincoln has been more than just a dealership. They're, in fact, a family-owned beacon of trust right here in St. Augustine. They were founded on the principles of honesty, integrity, and community service, and that Bozard family tradition continues to thrive through generations. They've got that state-of-the-art service facility with 91 climate-controlled service bays, a quick lane for no appointment-needed maintenance. Plus, you can enjoy the comforts of their customer lounge and the unique flavors of Ford's Garage while you're there. They are the proud recipients of the prestigious Triple Crown Award and named Florida's Dealer of the Year by Dealer Rater. Their team is dedicated to providing an enjoyable and efficient experience. Bozard Ford Lincoln, they offer the best in pricing, selection, and service just off 95 and State Road 16, where your satisfaction is their mission, and they are driven to inspire.
Yeah, they are.
Also, the Florida Man games.
Hey!
This is coming up quickly, man.
I've heard of this.
Have you really? I hope so, because we talk about it every single day on the show. I'm glad you're paying attention. We've got some great people involved in this as well.
Yeah, Van Strange.
Yeah, Van Strange. He's a character. He is
New TikTok
a
yesterday,
heck of a weird
I saw.
guy. Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah, well, he invented the Florida Man games.
I
And
love
you
it.
got to see behind the scenes of how he invented the Florida Man games.
Oh.
Yeah. He's a weird one.
I literally LOL'd on that too, by the way.
Yeah, I saw that.
Out loud in my
Yeah.
head all day, but yeah, that was good.
Good. That was trying
point.
something new there.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I'm glad one person laughed. That was nice. Helping us put this whole show on, our friends at Curaleaf, Ripley's, Mastercraft, Chris Lucero, Bail Bond, St. Augustine Attractions, Christy Opsall, Bozard, Griffin. A lot of great people in on this, helping us really put a weird, wild day together for everybody.
Yes, sir.
The Mechanical Gator was a big hit out there last year. Yeah, if you didn't get a chance to ride the Mechanical Gator,
But
think
the
Mechanical
additions-
Bull, but an alligator.
Yeah, I know, and people love that. But the
Yeah.
additions this year is what everyone's
Yeah.
talking about. The new, fun, fabulous games you came up
Giant
with.
beer pong, human foosball, the big Ninja Warrior course.
That's
from
gonna be
Ninja Nation.
amazing,
That's going to be
yes.
awesome. You get a chance to try that big Ninja running wall,
The warp wall.
the warped wall,
I
as
like
they
it.
call it.
way
it's going to be
harder,
great.
Way
man.
harder than you think.
It's going to be great. And some new games, some new challenges for our competitors, including the grocery aisle brawl,
Oh my gosh.
where they have to fight over hurricane party supplies in the aisle of a grocery store. It's going to be, it's so Florida, there's nothing more Florida than the Florida Man Games. Check it out at
That's right.
thefloridamansgames.com. Also, big shout out to our friends at Fidus Roofing, Great Expectations Realty and Auction, Chiba Hut Toasted Sub, St. Augie's Pizza, BHF Insurance, Griffin Service, Alace Med Spa, Chris Lucero, Bail Bonds, BNS Signs, and I am powered and energized every single morning by our friends at The Vibe Nutrition right here on Lewis Speedway. These are great. I've got the cotton candy this morning.
Oh, yesterday was Beetlejuice. Today you got
Yeah.
cotton candy.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's delicious.
Is it?
Yes.
Good.
I love these things.
I love cotton candy.
Troy, question of the day. What do you got?
All right. Well, first off, I'm doing great, and it's,
Yeah, you are.
It's Wednesday.
He knew
Okay.
already. It was a given.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Oh, which means it's hump day. There it is.
There you go. We gotta get that-
We got them all
get that part
done.
in.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, but the question of the day is, what game did you play as a child that they don't play anymore? Like kids don't play it anymore. And I was a child way before you guys, so
Yeah, 1800s and
yeah,
stuff.
Yeah.
That's why I'm a prospector.
Yeah. Okay. I don't see a lot of kids playing hopscotch anymore. I used to see
Hopscotch.
that a lot when I was a kid. I feel like I don't see that anymore.
Yeah, usually we see the chalk outlines on like
Right,
a sidewalk.
yeah.
I wonder if we even drew it if we showed it to like a 8-year-old if they knew what it was.
Right?
Yeah.
We just drew one like we knew. Oh, that's hopscotch.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, my answer is Foursquare. I don't see them playing. Do you guys ever do that? It's like
I
a
think
square.
Blake played Foursquare.
I love Foursquare.
That's
It's great.
Yeah, I
it's a
think
very
Foursquare's-
aggressive
I
game.
think Foursquare's still there. I go past Catalina's, because it's close to the house, and I see it.
Okay.
Okay.
It's look like they're still playing.
Okay, good.
Okay.
Well, that makes me
All
feel
right.
better. Thank you.
Yeah. So your game's still alive.
Thank God.
All right.
And mine is I don't think it's politically correct anymore to even say it. But
Oh, boy.
it's Cowboys and Indians.
Oh, okay.
Native Americans.
Cowboys and Native Americans.
It doesn't have the same ring.
Yeah,
It just doesn't roll off the tongue as well.
So
But yeah, okay.
How do you play this game? I'm sorry, I got to
It's really just going around shooting each other with cap
Yeah.
guns.
That's it?
I mean, that's
Yeah.
really it.
I am out. You don't have the costumes like the
yeah, no,
grandeur
no,
head,
you-
mudra headdress, nothing.
no, you definitely had to dress up to make it work. We had good imaginations, but I mean,
That'd be great.
There's a.
So, what team would you be on?
I was usually on the Indian team.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow, with the hats, I would have thought Cowboys.
I
with the
I
hats.
didn't wear shoes. I didn't wear shirts.
Okay.
Definitely, yeah. I can see that.
The boy from the land who doesn't know what shoes
Yeah.
and shirts are.
Papoose
I
and
was like-
Littlefoot are
I was
coming
like
around the corner.
palest, palest of all the Indians.
Tatanka.
All right.
Wonderful.
Red Rover is a great one too.
Yeah, that is a
It's
good
where
one.
you legally clothesline your friends.
Yeah, can get away with it. Yeah. Speaking of WWE,
That's where professional wrestling.
right?
That's how Victoria got her start in professional wrestling.
Red Rover. I was Red Rover champion 12 years in a row.
He had the belt and everything. He was very proud of it. Victoria, what do you think? We'll turn this question to you. What's a childhood game that you don't think they're playing anymore?
Chess.
Chess?
Okay.
Wow.
I don't know. Alamacani, I learned it in 5th grade.
Yeah.
It was like our extra day
Yeah.
activity, chess.
Okay.
Checkmate.
Chess.
That is. That's good though. I definitely have not seen a kid playing chess in
Yeah.
a long time.
Get rid of those
I'm more
pawns.
of a
Hold on to the
checkers
rooks.
guy.
Yeah. Okay.
You're more of a checkers guy?
My mental capacity is more of a checkers guy.
Are you a double jumper?
Oh yeah.
I hate you people.
I hold the fort back.
It's like you all of a sudden come up with new rules to a simple game and you have to do a double jump.
no, you
like
can-
The double jump's a thing.
I don't like
That's
it.
a real
I don't care for
rule.
it. Just like you can't win on a
That's
wild
why-
and Uno either. I'm sick of that.
That's why he always lost.
The only thing I ever lost. Thank you very little.
Oh boy. All right. Good question. I'm sure we got some good stuff out there in the comments.
they're flying in.
Yeah.
It's time for a quick check of the weather, Troy.
Scattered showers.
That quick check of the weather brought to you by Great Expectations Realty and Auction. They can sell your home, your business, and everything in it. Check them out at geauction.com and gerealty.us. We now go to the boys in the booth for the traffic report. What do we got, guys?
Have to start off with Happy 904. Appreciate you guys.
Thank you, sir.
Traffic is scattered traffic.
Okay.
Not
yeah.
bad at all.
Not looking too
little
bad out
rain
there on
this
95.
morning. We talked about the thunderstorms last night, so the roadways are wet. Other than that, it's moving pretty smooth.
What?
Just watch out for the guy upstairs breathing fire on you. If you don't get out of the passing lane, that's me coming up behind you.
Wow. Okay. That's a hell of a vehicle, Rick.
I want this.
I actually do too. Are those tank tires?
They are. You cannot stop me.
Can we remodel the ambulance to look like that?
We can. I think I'm going to now.
That's
Yeah.
Troy's Tesla truck model.
I mean, it does have the silhouette of a Tesla.
I would rather have that than a Tesla truck all day
bless.
long.
Well,
Absolutely.
everybody out there who thought I actually bought it thinks I should too.
Yeah. This
So
is-
nobody was happy. Everybody was instantly
Everyone was
mean to
mad at
Troy
me.
Oh,
when they
no.
thought he bought a Tesla truck.
I put a fake post out that I bought a Tesla truck.
This is
and
what you
everybody
do.
was like so,
Instantly mean.
So mean. I was like, what if I really loved
right.
it?
There was no congratulations.
Yeah,
It
there was
just-
no congratulations.
truck.
You're right on that.
Yeah.
Where do I tell everyone to see it?
The comments were vicious.
Tell them to go to the Facebook or the smartphone app. Yeah, they'll find us
904
there.
now.
Okay, we're gonna log back in because I
Oh,
felt
man.
bad. I'm like, oh no. Well,
Let's all right. So that traffic report comes to us from Alicia Med Spa.
There it is.
There we go. We're back on track.
For now.
Troy talking about
you're doing
himself
great.
always gets us
You're
off
doing
track.
great.
Yeah, I know. Thanks. Alicia Med Spa. Looking for a relaxing and rejuvenating experience? Look no further than Alicia Med Spa. At Alicia, they provide their clients with a wide range of luxurious spa treatments and advanced medical aesthetic procedures. Whether you're looking to unwind with a hydrofacial or enhance your natural beauty with things like Botox, dermal fillers, laser treatments, body contouring, all that stuff and more, their expert staff will work with you to develop a personalized treatment plan tailored to your unique needs and goals. And if you're a first-time client and you mention Davey's name when you go in, they'll give you $100 off your services.
$100.
Pretty awesome.
Amazing.
2 days worth of groceries.
Let's see, right?
Yep.
You could have a fierce face and no groceries. How nice. You'll be fine. Ramen it up.
It's beauty on your terms. Go to alace.com and see what they've got for you. All right. Let's get into the show.
Yeah, let's do
Shall we?
this.
Victoria Crawford joining us this morning. Victoria, how are you?
I'm doing good, thank you.
Good. It is good to have you here. We're going to talk a little bit about, I want to introduce you to some of our audience, talk a little bit about how you got into the wild world of professional wrestling. And you're doing some really cool stuff, as we touched on in the beginning of the show, where you're really helping people get into this business the right way. So I guess let's just start with, you're a local girl,
I'm a local girl.
Nice High School product.
Amazing.
So how does a girl from Nice High School get brought up into professional wrestling? I mean, the top of the mountain, WWE, pretty much right out of high school, right? As I understand it, you had no plans to be a wrestler in high school.
Correct.
Okay.
Let's see.
let me just tell everyone you're gonna have to find this on their Instagram now. Okay. So, my journey into wrestling was kind of unique. I lost my eyesight in high school between like 2001 to 2003. So, with that being said, I didn't have the academics or the GPA to like pursue this huge ophthalmology degree, So, I think why I bring that up is because education was always something that I really like tried to strive for, even on the road full time. And it kind of became something that was not, I was still seeking, still today, still seeking in that realm, but
But did you audition for this role, or did this fall from the sky? Like, where did this come about?
It really just fell from the sky because, again, trying to figure out my way and get out of the home, move out on my own. I took some modeling gigs, especially with Venus Swimwear being here.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Yes. So I didn't have any intentions of being in front of the camera. I like behind the scenes. So there was an opportunity that came up where they were looking for myself and younger girls to try to teach this wrestling. And then off Kelly and I went to go learn what it was.
Okay, that's right. You're not the only one who came out of Nice that went to professional. And Kelly was also a very big name.
She's a big name, but actually I think she graduated from somewhere in town. She didn't come to Nice, but we started together. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
That's wild. Two people from the same town getting picked up in this business at the same time. So what kind of shocked you the most getting into, what was the most unexpected thing you ran into early on in your career?
Early in my career, the first shocking experience I had is the fact that everyone was addressing themselves as their stage names, not their biological name.
So even like backstage?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, and, at the time, Kelly and I they're working us, but, as I kind of just like got comfortable with like the atmosphere, I started using I was Victoria Crawford until I was Alicia Fox, but I still would assume the persona, so
what's the difference between Victoria and Alicia?
They kind of help you develop a personality that's like 10 times yourself. So in a sense of Alicia, she's kind of like the most exaggerated version of myself, because I think in my spirit, I think I would like to say I'm pretty calm, temperamental, but calm,
Well, Beyonce has Sasha Fierce. By the way, it's her birthday today, too. Just letting the boys know that I know, me too. High five. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
But though,
They went to Stardom Stat.
But I'm telling you, though, seriously, to find that other persona and kind of get that inner tiger out, like, was that something that motivated you? Like, what inspired you to get Alicia to where she, became this great wrestler?
Geez, I think just really growing up in that time in my life between 17 to literally just this last recent. So coming from Nice and then going to that experience, my mind was just like an onion, just like blooming everywhere. Like,
cool.
New experiences, new people that had other experiences that were sharing, and I think that's where I got to dig deep into what my triggers were. What the crowd wanted to see, because it's instant feedback, very immediate, good guy, bad guy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they didn't like that clothesline. Okay,
right.
let's slam,
Right.
Kind of the art started to become, oh, okay, this is my responsibility. I can do this. Like we were talking about making art with Florida Man games. It's like this local celebration of who we are, and it's just perfectly narrated in Florida Man games, like the grocery store brawl. And that's how I feel. It's like, like you're saying, you want to just make people happy and this and that. And that's what wrestling and entertainment are. But what I love about it is that business function.
Yeah.
That's the nitty gritty that's like actually made me want to really dig deeper, because it's not an easy experience at all. I'm just gonna say.
But if it was easy, it wouldn't be worth bragging about.
Well,
Davey,
yes.
and especially on the business side, right? Like, what do you wish you would have known on the business end of things going into that world?
I wouldn't change a thing.
Really?
I would know nothing, still the same. However, if I were to get another opportunity to be a performer or whatever again, I would strictly use these social media tools, these algorithms to my benefit, this experience of like, good times, bad times, bringing in a living, some more nitty gritty, independent experience to really leverage what it is to be on stage, what it is to have like these action figures and stuff. And it's really a luck of the draw. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a lot of superstars that go to work every week and haven't really had their storyline yet.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of time in between that isn't televised, but that's where we come alive because, you're on the road 360 days. Or 300, well,
You get 5 days
Pretty
off,
much,
which is
right?
nice. Yeah,
Yeah.
so good. It's easier. Yeah.
Sorry, yeah. So you're like, have to build this life that can cater that persona,
Yeah.
So I think it's a spiritual experience, but I mean, I'm a sensitive person,
No, good. Yeah.
It's very taxing on your body, and I know you had to work out, and I saw your action figure. Whew. But what was one of the like worst injuries that you took that like you had to just perform through? Is there one incident where you're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I got through that?
Yeah, actually, I broke my tailbone during a rehearsal in one of our pay-per-views, the first female battle royal. But where I hit this part of the ring equipment was exposed wood. So it cracked from my tailbone to my scalp.
Wow. Like an earthquake almost.
Totally earthquake. And in my inner experience of it, it was the whole flash of white. I couldn't move.
Yeah.
Like I didn't really know in my equilibrium where I were.
Mm-hmm.
And until two girls, Bailey and Mickey, came running up, and then we kind of got to what the next right steps were, getting MRIs and things. However, that's still something I go through today because, Pilates, we're talking about that,
Yeah.
And stretching and just getting that muscle memory to relieve its tension and trauma,
Yeah.
So I think that's probably my worst injury, but it's so
Does it ever flare up when it gets real humid out or anything like that? You know what I mean? Like when the pressure changes.
it makes me feel better getting back in the ring and taking a body slam. 'Cause
Okay,
it's
okay.
like,
Get you right back
'cause it's
in.
like, it kind of like gets you back right.
I
you
like
know?
it.
Like, okay.
And you're still doing wrestling, right? You're on the independent circuit these days?
I am. I'm trying to keep doing the wrestling, but yes, I have ventured into the independent space, which I think is another experience I would try to bring back into this. If I were to be contracted again, is like having that independent wrestling experience is so valuable because you're able to go and say, okay, this is how much I sell 8x10s for. This is how much, and maybe the promotion only has a small audience, you're wrestling girls that don't have any machine experience. And so I really like that challenge. But yeah, it's just definitely different and new. But, yeah.
It's cool though. It's like a whole different chapter, right? Which is great because you have the story to tell, and now you have something fresh to grow off of the story that you had, which is great. It's an intensive story that you're telling to the audience, which is great. I love it. Keep saying great, but yeah.
So, Masters of the Ring Accelerator. This is where this all kind of comes together full circle, right? Talk to me about this vision that you and your partner have of helping people get into this world, get into this business the right way.
Thank you. Yeah. So my partner Bambi Weevil and I decided to create this think tank, and it's really a program that helps people kind of articulate what I just said.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like a lot of, as they say, word salad, what I was trying to explain. But my girlfriend and I really simplified a very articulated path in which bring the priorities to light, you know? You don't have to know the result of your journey. And that's also an experience because, independent, or you're working hard, you're getting gear, you're trying to be in shape, you're trying to do all these things. But again, what I love the most and the most respect I have of the wrestling business is that it's a business.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. To me, it simplifies and it symbolizes like independence, for any 1099. Like, you want to do the show, drive 6 hours. How much do you want to do it for?
Right.
And I think the experience that between the both of us, she's a wrestling promoter, so she puts on the shows, whereas my experience is from what draws, like hopefully I can draw her an audience that makes it worth her paying me to be there. Maybe I can, that's the experience in the independence. Maybe I can work out something where if I sell this many 8x10s or this, like there's so many quirky things that just give you, I think, an empowered experience for one. But always it's all about your money.
Yeah.
At the end
Sell
of the
the
day.
tickets.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
I mean, and isn't that a sensitive truth? Like, I kind of think that was one reality I had when I was growing up in that company from 17 to however, like from Nice, I don't think I really focused on my money. I didn't think it was about selling tickets. There was no part of my experience that didn't make me feel like a family member. So it didn't make me feel like a product. It didn't make me feel like I needed to brand myself. But what I perceive is happening is what's happening to every industry. Social media is allowing us to have all these other folds of our expression, our art, take control of our stuff, responsibility. But, that's kind of what wrestling business is too. It's like a scene, it's fluid. It's something.
It's a culture.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
It's like, what is it actually? What is it?
I mean, truly, the following is insane, right? How did you deal with some of your fans? Did you ever have any unruly fans? Or like, how did you deal with that pressure of being famous in this atmosphere and balancing your personal life with your professional life?
I think my experience is a little different because with WWE, like it's a culture, but it's also this family thing. So we really, when it comes to being with our fans and interacting our universe, we know they are our business, So I believe the fans really gravitate who they resonate with, and my fans are just like me.
Love that.
They're pretty chill. They're literally just like me. I haven't met anyone that's a fan of Alicia Fox that I couldn't gel, talk music, like literally talk other subjects than wrestling. Like that seems to be who pings my Instagram or people that actually I respect a lot of the audience that still holds true to as I've been trying to be more than my wrestling persona. Like I've been trying the Pilates, I've been trying this, and the feedback so far is these folks are into different things too.
Yeah.
Like, so it's really nice. It's nice to kind of, have a wrestling experience that keeps changing.
I love it.
And the fans that keep kind of evolving with you, right?
And WWE, that you're like heroes and villains. Which did you enjoy most? Did you enjoy being the villain or did you enjoy being the hero?
Villain.
Yes, everything. They're always lavish. I love it.
I was gonna say, you mentioned your fans are pretty chill like you, but the Alicia Fox character, she was all over the place.
Yeah.
She was a pretty aggressive chick.
Snaps.
I like it. Good. Yes.
Temperamental.
That had to be fun to go out there and perform like that as a character like that week after week, right?
It was fun, especially as you're kind of developing into your thing. Like that's the thing. The fans have seen me be a wedding planner. I think I was a good guy in there. So like I did a dancing gimmick. I did random things, and what seemed to really resonate was when I was throwing stuff in the air.
Okay,
they were like, "Now there we go."
There's somebody who's just letting loose.
Talk about the gear. Like, how did you come up with like your costumes or your outfits on each round? Like, where's the inspiration driven from there?
TV, pop culture, Super Bowl, getting color schemes. But my main inspiration came from my seamstress because she was like an out there thinker. Her name's Sandra Gray.
Yay, Sandra.
And it's so sweet. She's like a tag team with her mother.
Cool.
So they're like, later in their age and they just work those little fingers on the sewing machine.
Absolutely.
But, we were talking earlier about us loving Betsy Johnson and all her quirky. So I think that was kind of my first idea. It's like, I want to be like Betsy, but how do you make it sporty?
Yeah, but that's so awesome because she's a total inspiration. Very cool.
She's the dream.
What was the toughest part about your run in at the top of the mountain in WWE? What do you think was the toughest lesson you learned?
You know, the toughest thing for me were being in hotels and like the real part of getting to where you're going, like the airports, the delays, like, you know, and I think it was more of like why I said earlier, it's a spiritual business, because sometimes it takes all of that extra like spiritual energy to like go to Hertz, stand in the line, like it's like out of
All the time.
Yeah, like there's a part, I don't know if it's because of long-term exposure or something, but my spirit just started getting tired of hotels, airports, and letting my life be okay without me or something. You know? Like I have a home here, I have friends here. When I was on the road, what kept me energized is that they must miss me. Did it?
They were like over it.
Right.
Like, yeah, no shame, right? Like, I totally get it. But, you know, when I would come home, I was always trying to get a hug in on my friends. And that part of homesick and professionalism started to get me a little, like, seasick almost.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know?
Mm-hmm.
But my experience is very different because I was there 17 years. Some people have an opportunity and some are long and some are kind of short, you know? So I really have a lot of gratitude for that chapter, but like where I'm at in my journey, it's still kind of processing. Like that was different for a little niece girl to not have feelings hurt sometimes and that because you're always trying to be tough and loud, you know, and then I'm in my normal loud and I'm hoping I don't scare people like, no, don't worry. The wrestlers, you know, so I'm in my own personality rebuild and
Reboot. I like it. Yeah.
It feels like talking with y'all, like on a real level. These are all part of the healing that I recognize today. You know, when I'm on the road 300 days a year, the regular social skills, you know, they kind of fluctuate and go down.
Well, they're different cultures. You go to LA, it's going to be a way different crowd than it is here, right?
Right.
You got to be phony baloney and all that mess, right? Yeah, La Cienega Garcia. Okay, it's not easy in LA. But then here, you speak the language, you know the people, and you know the pulse. And that's why, you know, you're rebooting.
You got to I got to reboot and keep it just moving fluid. But that's what I think bringing a community together, like, and seeing some of these kids speak on their imagination, their creativity, and like we're just enjoying 904 in our local place. Really, you know, I'm hoping that the parts will separate it. It won't feel like one convoluted experience because it's really difficult to dissect and subtract. I mean, there's a
lot of different components that go into being a successful performer, right? I mean, it's not just working the crowd. It's not just your character. It's not just your outfits. It's politics, it's business, it's backstage relationships, I have to imagine, right? So what are kind of some of the main components that you feel like you're going to try and get across to these aspiring professional wrestlers? Like, these are the top 3 things you need to be doing right to be successful in this business.
Well, first of all, is really believe this is a business. Your job is to sell tickets. Like, this is nothing personal. This is what the business does. It does it, you know, naturally without you. Like, there is so much reality in that. It's a business, number one. And neutralize your want to be a wrestler too. That's the most, like, that's the heart of it, you know.
Kind of separate the passion from the business side.
Give yourself a break, right? Give yourself some objectivity. Allow yourself to scope it in and be overwhelmed, be underwhelmed, be bored. Allow yourself some emotional space there. Because it's a business and you can do it. Those are like, you know, however, for third, you know, I think it's also really important to have a community. Have a hand of somebody. Have your hand in one of somebody, you know, whether it's a parent, a sibling, or somebody, just see an anchor somewhere.
Right,
you
to
know?
bring you back. Yeah, their core.
Just remember that part or something, you know? And these are all concepts, right? So it's nice that concepts are still needed to fuel creativity, right? Like, but they're not results. So they're not championships. They're not gold. It's not money.
Not
you
selling
know?
tickets. Yeah.
So how much influence did you have on your character? Like, could you lobby for your character, say, I really want to take my character here? How much of the script did they say, no, you have to stay in these parameters? I know they give you a little bit of freedom, but was there a time where you're like, okay, I really want to take Alicia, the character Alicia, to this level? How much control did you have of that in the business?
So as I'm like trying to think of a way to answer that, all I could start seeing is like as soon as the character was erected, there's a very narrowing journey. It's it becomes very consistent. It's repetitive. It's very what this person
So they
does.
set you on a timeline
and hopefully you bump into a great opponent that can elevate a better story.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
interesting.
You know
Kind
what
of
I'm
like soap
saying?
opera. I mean,
Yeah.
it's kind of similar
Yeah.
to that.
Yeah, like characters can root and then they develop in this very narrowing way to like emerge into focus or something.
Mm-hmm.
Because this, I mean, creative. This is just my perspective, right? But for myself, where I wish I had more creative flexibility, is to pitch like an opponent that I thought I could really tell a good story with, and that's usually like we were saying earlier, like with the way the inner backstage is working. Like you've got great friendships and stuff that people can separate business and this. They're not really there, this and this and this, you know. Whereas I wish I had more creative flexibility to really like take a friend and be like, hey, we're really good athletically matched and she trains where I train. We're willing to, you know, I wish I could do that part. And then however they want to write the story, I mean, no problem. But I wish choosing the opponent would be a little different, you know? And then it's like, but here's where maybe my opinion, entertainment lies, is they choose who's going to have to be the top this and the this. And, you know, and sometimes it doesn't look right, you know, to the audience and neither to your coworkers. So you kind of just wait in that time. So I think in that time when you're trying to conceive if this is the right thing for you, like how much time do you think you're willing to invest in being bored or, you know?
Because they're going to have a lot of control over the steering of
it's
your
like,
character.
So then is this...
on your rise to the champion, and I know this is a thing. I had a roommate that was a wrestler, and he always ended up being a jobber. How did you avoid being a jobber and made it to that level? Because I mean, there's so many more that don't get to where you ever got to, and that's a jobber. Somebody who, Davey, so you know, because I know you're a huge wrestling fan, is somebody that they kind of throw out there as a rag doll.
Yeah.
So how do you avoid that in your business and keeping yourself relevant?
That's a great question. I feel like I was a jobber.
Do you?
I do.
I didn't think of you in that way. In any
I
way, shape, or
did.
form.
I mean, and I love that you used jobber because it's like it could be a sensitive thing if I were in my moment, right? Now, I think, again, since we don't get to choose who and all that, there's always someone that's got to lose. And regardless of their track record, you know, our fans are very like interactive and stuff. You know, they want you to win, even if you're the bad guy and they know
Of course.
it, right?
Yeah.
But however, it becomes a pattern when you see the same girl winning like 14 champions, 15 championships,
Right,
and it's like she beat everybody, and you're like, what? Like, you know, but then the group of girls that she beat are over here still sharing tag team storylines or doing ballet. Like, it's like, you know, I've only have one company experience. Maybe creatively there are different other places, but I don't know how to avoid being a jobber unless you're selling tickets and making money. Like,
Right.
Like
That's what it
just
all
what
comes
it
down to,
is.
Yeah, that's
right?
what it is.
And in some parts, it's a lot of support from the machine, and in the other parts, it's all the other parts. that, you know.
What about your fan base? Being on a global platform, like, is there like was it surprising that other countries supported you or anything? Were you stronger in other areas, in other parts of the world?
Good question.
Like Mexico loves some wrestling. Like I know that's a culture down there. Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Did you see anything like, oh my goodness, I'm huge in Budapest? Like, you know what I mean? Like that would be amazing.
I mean, my caricature, I think, was relatable. So wherever the wrestling was, there was somewhere to connect and like, woo.
Cool. Okay.
But however, wrestling industry it's amazing how many people know it. They know or they've more tried to do it in their backyard on their beds, you know. So I think there's that nostalgic feel. There's also like the memories they may have of walking by and seeing it on TV before they're getting drawn into, well, what is that, having interest. And then there's even the fans today that have tried to start wrestling careers. So it's really such. And then the last thing I'll say that I love the most is when some of the wrestling fans go to an event like a convention or somewhere, and then they meet another friend that loves it so much, just like them. And then they travel together. They go they link up every Mania. You know, even the CAC is another event that's unrelated to WWE, but it's the Cauliflower Alley Club. And it's like a union where members contribute funds, and then they help bills of like the elder wrestlers and stuff.
Cool.
And,
Wow.
and every year they have like their own Hall of Fame ceremony.
That's
but
exciting.
It's so cool
And different.
It's so
cool.
different.
Yeah.
Yes.
Taking care of your own.
Yeah.
Love that.
So, Victoria, tell us how people can get involved with you, with Masters of the Ring, Accelerator, all that good stuff to really get the behind the scenes look at the business side of it and understand what they're doing if they want to get into this business.
Thank you. Yes, all independent workers welcome. You just go to mastersoftheringaccelerator.com, fill out the form, or make an appointment so we can kind of do our one-on-one call because it's a very sacred space. We want everyone to feel comfortable and safe and able to learn and community properly. It's myself and Bambi Weevil. She's at Instagram, Masters of the Ring, period. And then our platform is the Accelerator.
Cool.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for coming by this morning. This was a lot of fun. Really enjoyed having you. And I hope we can connect again soon and talk more Florida Man game stuff.
Yeah.
I'd love to have you out there for Florida Man games.
Epic
That'd be
interview.
fun.
Yeah. So fun to meet you. That's
Awesome.
awesome.
Great job, Victoria.
Victoria,
Yeah.
thank you for coming in. This is a lot of fun.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
Now we got to do the news.
I know we got to do the boring stuff now. Jeez.
That was fun.
All right. Well, hey, we will get you the Gas Buddy gas report first of all, let you know where we are finding the best prices for gas here in and around St. Augustine. Drop us in the comments where you're seeing the best prices for gas. It would help us out a lot. We got A1A discount beverage at the very top of our list this morning at $2.99. Still holding at $2.99.
That's good.
Amazing. We've got the Sunoco at $21.99 North Ponce. They are at $3.05. That's their cash price this morning. The Gate at $40.75 US 1 North, $3.09. We got the Circle K at $45.64 US 1 North, $3.09 as well. The Shell at 146 King Street, $3.10. The Shell at 216 Ponce de Leon Boulevard, $3.11. And we got the Sunoco at 450 South Ponce, $3.11 as well. The Owens at 780 South Ponce, $3.11. The Shell at 2350 North Ponce. Does it seem like we've got a lot more gas stations this morning?
It's wonderful.
This list doesn't stop. 312, and then the Gate on Mizell Road, 315 this morning.
All right. Did you see Tim's?
I did not. I was so entrenched in that interview.
I
I'm
didn't
sorry.
see Tim's, but
Yeah.
Bucky's is at $2.97.
Okay. Very nice.
That comes to us from Chris Lucero Bail Bonds. If you are in trouble with the law, Chris Lucero will at least get you out of jail. He's not going to get you out of trouble with the law, but he's going to get you out of jail.
Yes.
So you can get back to your real life, make money, and see your family. Stay with your family. 904-822-BAIL, 904-822-2245. We got some live music happening today and tonight. I didn't realize how late in the show it is. We gotta run through some of this stuff here.
Make it to 904.
John, there we go. We'll end it at 9:04 today. We'll shoot for that. John Q at the Milltop Tavern at noon. Smoking Joe Shower at Trade Winds at 1. Juan. 39 at 2 o'clock.
Gosh, okay,
Little
Flem.
Flemmy, Troy.
Hold on.
We got Vinny Jacobs at the Guy Harvey Resort at 5 o'clock. Dewey Vaya, Old Coast Ales at 6. Al Canali
Oh,
at Harry's at 6.
welcome.
Cam Wheaton. We've got all the H's today. Cam, Wheaton, and Hayes.
Ooh, Hayes.
But is it purple?
At 6. Stu Weaver at Taps at 7. That comes to us from Griffin Service, who understands that choosing the right company when you need AC, plumbing, or electrical services is a big decision. They help hundreds of local families just like you every week getting problems fixed so that you can get back to what really matters. You see them everywhere dozens of times a week, and when you do, it always means legendary service is on the way. If you have an AC, plumbing, or electrical problem, Griffin makes it easy. Give them a call, 904-500-2653, or visit griffinservice.com and see the Grifference. Before we get into this story about the marketing firm, we're going to skip Weird Wednesday today. We're out of time for Weird Wednesday. Before we get into that, I'll remind you that Fidus Roofing is your local go-to roofer here. They've been doing it for over 15 years here in St. Johns County. They are absolutely the best, and that's why they are master elite contractors for St. Johns County. Being a master elite contractor also means you get warranties that nobody else in our area can touch. Give them a call. Let them give you peace of mind. Make sure your roof is in tip-top shape. 904-355-ROOF.
They do pavers.
And gutters. Yeah.
All right. That's good. A St. Johns County marketing firm contract is going to be expiring soon. What could be the impacts on local businesses? Instead of reading this whole story, Troy, do you have enough insight on this?
I think I do.
Okay.
I think I do. And this has been a process that's been going on for quite a bit. And there's
What's this marketing firm in place for, first of all?
Well, the VCB has been handling our marketing, and
Okay.
they've been doing a really good job. Obviously, you're aggravated that so many people are coming here.
Well,
they've been
yeah,
doing
so that means they're doing a good job.
They're
Yeah.
getting us they're getting us on all the lists, and they're doing all these things.
Right.
In private business, this would not be an issue. We would continue because it's not broke. You don't fix it.
Okay.
But there's certain criteria because of the code of the purchasing department and procurement of government is created a conflict. When you have to go out to what's called an RFP, requisition for proposal, when you're doing big, because this is $1 million contract. It's not like it's a multi-million-dollar contract that we buy advertisement with. So you got to make sure you do all the procurement properly through the county. The problem with that is these big marketing firms don't want to be handcuffed in how they're handling the marketing, because of the procurement process. So the best marketing people out there are always going to have a little pushback against government. It just, because of the restrictions. So when we went out to the RFP, we were expecting to get 20 to 30 return companies because it's a nationwide search.
Okay.
We got 6. 3 of them qualified. So
Wow.
we were like, okay, that's not enough sample size. So we ended up saying, let's go back to the market again and see if we can actually recruit some of these other groups. The problem with that was we're coming up on the deadline of the VCB's contract. It ends on September 30th.
Mm-hmm.
So we needed to get the extension, and that's what took place yesterday, the extension for the VCB. Hopefully the 6 months that we buy from that, we either get a good sample size, which is the goal, or the VCB still can qualify as one of the ones managing the marketing.
But ultimately, wouldn't the county need to have staff to be able to see this marketing company? Like that's what the VCB kind of does.
The staff is the TDC. The
Okay.
VCB and TDC are separate.
Yeah, that's always confusing.
Yeah, it's very confusing. Visitor Convention Bureau is a third-party contract. The people at the TDC work specifically for the county. The money comes through the TDC, and I call it Category 1, which is the advertising and marketing, and that's the contract that the VCB is under. So yesterday, the county commissioners did the right thing, extended the VCB's contract for 6 months to allow the RFP to go back out again.
Oh,
My
okay.
concern is if we run back into this again, we need a more long-term solution than 6 months. So this one bought us time past Night of Lights, which is the most important advertisement time for this downtown city of St.
Why was there such a shortage on qualified candidates?
Because of the restrictions that are put on you as a government agency. I mean, you'd rather work for Coca-Cola, who says, "Hey, go do this," and than you would for somebody who's sunshine laws are great, but they're not great when you need buying power. Like if you're going to buy a piece of property and you have to reveal it, and all of a sudden that property jumps up 30%. Same things with advertisement buyings. They're going to this company, so we're going to jump our rate to this. So when everybody can see what you're doing, it makes it a little more challenging on your buys. And this is a terrible buying time right now because it's an election year.
Right.
So when you go to buy advertisement, it's pushed up,
super expensive,
up in value. It's overvalued unless you're purchasing advertisement on the 904 now.
Do you see this as a threat to the VCB eventually? Do you see any kind of threat there?
I see that they've been doing a very good job. Susan does an amazing job. You guys have had her in here. I think it's going to fall into the place where it needs to fall into. There's a lot of really strong business leaders supporting, and yesterday the VCB had a ton of the room was filled yesterday with people just saying the VCB is doing a good job.
Yeah, they get us. I just say it's a marketing firm doesn't get us.
Don't fix it. And as one of the bigger hoteliers, we want to have that instant flexibility. If I'm having to call a guy in New York or something like that and say, "Hey, we're struggling with this,"
he don't know.
It's not going to work, and he doesn't care.
He don't care.
Right.
I mean, he doesn't know, and he doesn't care. Though I think the more important part is he doesn't care.
Right.
We know Susan cares.
Right. We do,
and her staff cares. So, but that's kind of.
Yeah, interesting turn of events. I didn't know if it was a power move or what was going on there.
No, it's been actually going on for about a year.
Wow.
Okay. So we've got another 6 months.
Yeah.
We've got a 6-month extension through Nights of Lights to try and kind of figure this out again and see which direction they want to go in.
Yeah, and it's one of those situations where it's no one's fault. It's more the procurement part. It's the policies and codes that are getting in the way of good business.
Okay.
Which happens in government a lot.
Yeah. No way.
Wow.
No way. Government getting in the way of doing good business? You're kidding me.
I'm here for breaking news.
You're doing a fine job, sir. All right. Somebody who broke some news a couple of weeks ago was recently fired from the state of Florida. Former state employee James Gaddis was apparently the individual who leaked information about plans to build golf courses and hotels in Florida's state parks. He's reportedly been fired now from his job. Gaddis described himself as an ethical whistleblower. He said that he does not regret making the public aware of the proposals, and we are very thankful that he did. He felt compelled to act as he believed the developments would cause significant harm to some of Florida's most pristine, globally rare habitats. Can we try and get him on a show?
I would love to.
That would be great to get him on a show. Let's reach out to him and see if we can get him on here.
Gaddis.
Yes, sir. Gaddis worked as a choreographer. A cartographer. Choreographer. Yeah. A cartographer. Very different things. Very different things. Yeah.
Twerk it all the time.
For the Florida Department of Environmental Protection. And he was tasked with drawing the conceptual maps for the proposed developments. These plans included golf courses, pickleball courts, and 350-room hotels at 9 state parks from Miami to the Panhandle. Gaddis expressed his disgust with the project, particularly when mapping out developments in Anastasia State Park right here in St. Augustine, which he found increasingly egregious. In response to his growing concerns, Gaddis wrote a summary of the proposals on his work computer and shared it, which helped spark protests and massive public backlash against the plans. The department has since withdrawn the initiative, with Governor DeSantis calling it a half-baked and not ready for prime time political buzzwords. I hate those words.
Right.
DeSantis has just become shot out politically, unfortunately.
Honestly, not impressed.
Yeah, no, not impressed with this at all. Just really since
this guy
he
was
decided to run for president. He really was. And then ever since he decided to run for president, I don't know if his campaign's been in his ear too much. I don't know what happened.
Something happened.
He lost what we loved about Ron DeSantis. He really did. That's very unfortunate. Gaddis is a single father of an 11-year-old. He's been hailed as a hero on social media by opponents of the proposed development, which is pretty much everybody in Florida. I haven't come across anybody, not one person, who thinks this is a good idea. A GoFundMe page was created to support him. He's raised more than $100,000 as of Tuesday afternoon.
Right now, 161.
Good. According to the state salary database, Gaddis's annual salary was $49,000. So he's made a few years worth of salary.
God bless that
in
dude.
this, which I'm very glad to hear.
Yeah, man.
A spokesperson for the Department of Environmental Protection did not respond to a request for comment. It also, it's also very, very unfortunate. We talked about last week that DeSantis has not had any conversations with local and state leaders about this, apparently. Asked them last week if any of them up there had talked to DeSantis, and nobody had.
Nobody.
He's apparently just not taking calls about this. Is really, I'm glad he's not our president.
Yeah,
Glad he's not in the running for our president.
He
Really
in his
am.
speech,
Shady stuff, man.
In his speech, he kind of tried to do a ninja move and said it was a liberal leak.
Right.
Yeah.
That's so
And-
stupid.
So
that's-
tired of that
Nobody
narrative.
believes that. Nobody believes. I mean, he really has lost his way. It's very unfortunate. Very disappointing. Very disappointing. Which I'm sure he doesn't care about.
Well,
Pete saying that's
think
very disappointing,
he's-
Ron.
Well, no, I mean he's a young guy in politics,
Yeah.
and I think just this incident, because Florida always had his back.
Yeah.
Just this incident swings Florida around to like, hey, we have your back until you attack Florida.
Yeah.
And this,
Yeah.
I mean, people saw this as an attack on Florida.
Yep.
So I think DeSantis'
Done.
career, he's going to be a consultant and lawyer. He's a smart guy. He'll figure out life. But I mean, he's got
Politics
He's a young dude still compared to what's out there in politics.
Guys, what would have happened if we didn't have the whistleblower moment? Like, what would
Right.
have happened then?
Oh, it would have got further down the road, and then it would have got killed.
Yeah.
I don't see this project making it because all these parks are in local municipalities. The local municipalities had power, which would have they would have cost out the development to make them go away, which happens in a lot of developments. Like when the municipality can't always, and like people get on to politicians about, oh, well, you voted in this development. A lot of times you're I'm using the term again, handcuffed again, where there's property rights. If you don't vote for it, they sue you in mediation, then you lose 3 times as much money, and they still get the development.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
So it's making it work to the best of your municipality. And I know the people at the city commission, they weren't going to let this slide without them paying through the nose and getting something out of it for the city. And it probably would have went away with just those obstacles and hurdles.
Yeah, it's been very interesting to keep up with this, man.
But it's tough. I mean, this guy, $50,000 job. He's got an 11-year-old, and he stepped up to the plate. I mean, he didn't know he was going to end up with $160,000 and GoFundMe.
Right.
He did the right thing, and I like it
Yeah.
when people do the right thing.
Yeah. And I don't like to see whistleblowers get fired, especially over things like this. The Republican Party talks about it all the time, that we want whistleblowers to come forward. We're going to respect whistleblowers, and they're a vital part of government. And then the guy just gets canned.
Whistleblowers.
As a guy who 6 months ago said, boy, Trump should just move out of the way and let Ron DeSantis become president, I'm glad I'm not right about everything. Right about most things.
A lot of people say this.
A lot of people say this. I would never say this.
Whistleblowers get fired in the public and in the private sector.
Yeah,
so,
they do. They do.
And that's always going to happen because they're always going to have a reason separate from the one that you're really getting fired for.
Yeah. With that said, Troy, how do you want to do the comments today?
On this watery Wednesday, I will wade wistfully into the wet world of the working watchers. Waking watchers. Sorry.
Wonderful. As you do that,
Sorry, Bobby.
I'll remind everybody that we're coming up on 9:04, Troy. I'm trying to run through this here, man.
sorry.
Bates Hewitt and Floyd is not your average local insurance company. They provide peace of mind and insurance to protect your biggest investments. Their approach to insurance and risk longevity in our community and the way they treat their clients sets them apart from the rest. They offer homeowners, auto, commercial, and benefits, and they've been doing it for over 50 years. Christy Lawrenson is St. Augustine's premier agent. She offers complimentary policy reviews and has a deep understanding of what is needed in St. Augustine to be properly insured. Her attention to detail and organizational skills have found policy errors and cost savings where others have failed to do so. Give them a call, 904-794-5455, and schedule your appointment today. Also, our friends at B&S Signs, a locally owned and operated full-service sign business now in their third generation of family ownership. Since 1967, they've been providing businesses and organizations in St. Johns County and surrounding counties with quality signage. Whether you need them for business cards, stickers, storefront signage, or massive signs that everybody can see on I-95 like Bozard Ford Lincoln, a B&S Signs is your go-to. Check them out at bnssigns.com. What you got, Troy?
All right. So in the comments, we already talked about Bucky's being $297. Victoria's cap and fashion sense was the talk of the
I believe it.
She knocked it out of the park. Two games that really stuck out to me that kids really can't play anymore today.
Let's take the carousel off, guys, please. Thank you. I don't get it.
Oh my gosh.
Well, you're the
I'm not a
ticket
fan.
taker. You're not on the carousel.
Yeah. No carousel the rest of the week.
Yeah.
And until we're really getting into Pete. And he needs a hug. Ding Dong Ditch. You can't play that anymore because you got Ring cameras.
Oh,
right.
yeah.
And prank phone calls. You can't do that anymore because you got caller ID.
Yeah.
So those are two that are eliminated.
Yeah,
Those are my
by
favorite
Those were
answers.
good childhood games. Yeah.
Great answers.
Yeah.
What do you got for Stordom Stat, Troy?
Stordom Stat. On this day in 1886, Geronimo, the Apache leader and medicine man, and he wasn't technically a chief, he was a medicine man, was captured, and he was captured by Colonel Miles. And the interesting story that connects it to St. Augustine is when he was captured, he was supposed to come to St. Augustine, Fort Marion. 2 of his wives made it, like 6 of his children made it here. But on the journey, passing through Fort Pickens, just outside of Pensacola, they kept him.
What?
All right, they kept him, and he almost became a tourist attraction.
Right.
And
Wow.
and they would take pictures with the residents. He was considered a prisoner of war. Then he was later shipped to Alabama, and then finally in Oklahoma. But Geronimo lived a full life. He was at Teddy Roosevelt's inauguration, even though he was still technically a prisoner of war. And he died at the age of 80. Lived a completely full life. And one of the things, got shot several times, but as a young warrior, he had a vision that he would never die by the bullet, but he would receive several bullets. And that's exactly what happened to him in his life.
Wow.
So,
All right.
Jeez.
so Geronimo and the connection to St. Augustine. And in the movie, they mentioned Fort Marion and Geronimo, that's where they're sending him to.
Okay.
St. Augustine, Fort Marion and St. Augustine.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
But he never actually made it here.
Thanks for the wildly uplifting Stordom Stat.
Wildly.
Wildly. Brought to you by a wildly delicious, actually delicious St. Augie's Pizza in downtown St. Augustine, right between Riberia and ML King. Get in there today for a few slices. Oh, I thought you had something, Davey. Plugs, Troy.
I'm just
All
saying
right,
1 minute.
just drive safe. It's going to be raining off and on all day, so just be careful out there.
Very
Wet
slick.
roads. Wet roads.
Wet roads.
That's right. What you got, Davey?
This afternoon, we have Elizabeth and Bob Randall talking about the new book, Secret St. Augustine. We're going to find some really cool ins and outs of our great town. I'm excited. This is a great interview.
Okay, great. And I want to tell you to visit the FloridaManGames.com. Get yourself your tickets. You are absolutely, look, you're going anyway. Get yourself some tickets now while they are at the best price they're ever going to be. Thank you very much for watching today.
Everybody, 904.
That's right.
Such a
Appreciate
special
you
day.
guys. It's
Wonderful.
Our Independence Day here.
Yep.
Yes.
904.
It's our day.
Best guests, nice people.
9:03, and when is it
you.
going to turn into 9:04
think
so we can end this
3.
show?
Yeah,
Yes. Have a great day.
904.